We're talking a lot about award season and big Hollywood movies. Well, there's a big Hollywood name enmeshed in controversy. That's Bryan Singer, the latest to face sexual assault allegations. But we're getting new details of misconduct against the director of Bohemian Rhapsody. They've surfaced this week in The Atlantic, and it is certainly causing upheaval in Hollywood at a time, as Eli joins me again, when the movie's done so well and is receiving so much attention and nominations, and yet this controversy overhangs everything.
Yeah, I mean, there have already been a number of claims and charges hovering over director Bryan Singer, even before this new article. He has denied all sexual assault charges up until now, but now we have this new article accusing him of seducing and sexually assaulting a number of underage boys. And so this puts the people and filmmakers and actors associated with the movie that he directed, Bohemian Rhapsody, in a real awkward place. I mean, it is still very much in the running. I would say Rami Malek is a front runner in the Best Actor category. They have tried to distance themselves from Bryan Singer up until now. There was no mention of the director's name at the Golden Globe Awards. He was actually fired from the movie in the middle of production. Another director was brought in to try and finish the film. There you see some of the amazing scenes from the movie, but it's still very much in contention for the Oscars. But of course, what's happening the past couple of days could affect it.
He was just... want to talk about reaction because this really is the top. He was let go, wasn't it? Just before,
He was fired in the middle of shooting.
Right.
He had left production. They had asked him to come back to set. He talked about, I think it was his mother was in poor health, but essentially the studio said, okay, you're done. And eventually brought in another director to finish the film, although he still gets a directing credit.
Okay. So this is in the air with award season and Oscars coming up, and there's a lot of reaction in Hollywood to these latest this week disclosures.
That's right. So after these new disclosures came out, there's a lot of pressure, especially because Bryan Singer has another job. He is supposed to be directing a $10 million movie called Red Sonja. This is kind of a spin-off to Conan the Barbarian, so they're kind of very prestigious, another potential blockbuster. So a lot of people looking at Millennium Films now that are producing this saying, well, you have to say something. And the producer with Millennium had this to say. His name is Avi Lerner, and he said, the over $800 million Bohemian Rhapsody has grossed, making it the highest grossing drama in film history. That's actually not correct. Is a testament to the remarkable vision and acumen. I know the difference between agenda-driven fake news and reality. I'm very comfortable with this decision. In America, people are innocent until proven otherwise. So a very strong statement from that producer saying Singer is still directing this blockbuster. But then take a listen to this statement from GLAAD. Now, Bohemian Rhapsody was supposed to be in contention for a GLAAD Media Award, and they've now said, in light of the latest allegations against director Bryan Singer, GLAAD has made the difficult decision to remove Bohemian Rhapsody from contention for a GLAAD Media Award in an outstanding film. This week's story in The Atlantic, documenting unspeakable harms endured by young men and teenage boys, brought to light a reality that cannot be ignored or rewarded. They also went on to criticize Singer for, in his defense, he's talked about the reporter who put these allegations forward he basically described them as homophobic and saying, using that as defense, we have to think about the victims first. And that's not all. Now, Brian May of Queen is wading into this. He had previously supported the director, and then he had this feedback from somebody on Instagram saying you need to unfollow Bryan Singer. He responded to her somewhat curtly at first, and now he's actually apologized, saying to this person, Sue, thank you for trying to protect me. I'm mortified to discover the effect my words produced. He basically goes on to explain that he simply followed Singer because he was the director of the film. He never realized he was kind of endorsing Singer, and he has now unfollowed him. So even now, the members of Queen trying to distance themselves from Singer and kind of divide that line between the movie they are part of and the director who filmed it.
Will it have any bearing on the ultimate decisions for the
Imagine
Oscars?
so.
It'll be interesting to follow. When we talk about that after it happens, we'll certainly be watching that storyline. Hey, thanks for coming back for a double dose of Eli this morning. And you're going to be having, just tonight, you're doing a fantastic piece on the National, right? Women composers?
Female composers, all men at the Oscars this week, but I spoke to some amazing Canadian and American composers on how that is changing.
Okay, on the National tonight. And Eli, thank you as always.